Welcome everyone. My name is Dennis and I'm your host for this session. This is a session called Build Up NSO LSA with CI/CD, faster way to deliver NSO complex services. And our presenter today is Sudipta. Welcome, Sudipta.
Thank you, Dennis. So, hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, all. So, today I'm going to present a short demo followed by the concept of how the NSO LSA architecture we have built up with the CI/CD pipeline. This is a proof of concept we have already applied for one of our potential customer deliverables. Being said that, let us quickly go through that what we have done and how it has benefited out the customer. So there is a say that simply put, things always had to be in a production ready state. If we wrote it, you darn well had to be there to get it running. So that means when I write a product or when I write a piece of code, it should be always ready for production delivery. And that is the thought behind why we have come up with the NSO LSA CI/CD pipeline. Challenges that we often face for delivering any complex software services are we have often the limited visibility across the software lifecycle. So we as a developer, we build the code, then we run unit testing on it, we find out defect, then we fix it, then again it gets into the functional and UAT, the code quality concerns being raised at that phase, then defect being reported, we rework, then make it deployment ready. So if you see the entire software service delivery process, it's like manual and complex in terms of the environment. Now, when it gets into the customer side as a full-fledged deliverable as a service, most often what we face the issue is that agility and the productivity issues. Might be sometimes we miss the deadline or whatever we deliver is not up to the quality. So being said that, in this particular presentation, we came up with a solution how the faster delivery can happen. Now, when we came up with the concept of the continuous end-to-end NSO delivery automation pipeline, the concept is not new. Many of the business unit is already following the concept, but what is new in that how you can make the layer service architecture automated through this particular pipeline. So the first thought was that how to make the faster delivery. The second thought is that how the code quality can be improved. And the way of improving the code quality is only possibility that as frequent as you test the code in an automated manner, the delivery of the deliverables certify that the quality is good. That is one way to approach the problem. Now, while we discuss about the NSO LSA, the layer service architecture basically talks about splitting the NSO service into two different layers. One is upper layer, and upper layer is basically the CFS, which we talked about the customer facing, and down that you will be having the multiple layers of RFS model, which is basically the resource facing. So when we basically deliver the NSO services, we might have to check the service delivery against this particular layer service architecture model, so that when actually the services will be delivered into the production or in the customer setup, we will not face any new challenges out of there. Now, being said that, when we started thinking about the NSO LSA pipeline, we started first analyzing the requirement of it, why the NSO LSA pipeline is needed. The first thing is that the pipeline concept is basically related to the DevOps, and it is an agile approach with the automated test certification. The second thought is that developers can easily test their code without bringing up a heavily built up infrastructure. If we see today, that LSA architecture to build up in a lab, you need the VMs, you need certain infrastructure for which the allocation has to be done, the cost is involved, the time is involved. So how we can quickly turn up a similar kind of solution which can give the developer more freedom to, without investing any further time to build up a heavy infrastructure. The third thought is that acceptance of the software build. If I build up a smaller subset of the heavy infrastructure, will my software validation against this particular infrastructure, can it be certified? How much authentic it is? So acceptance of software build can be performed on the fly with this build-up infrastructure. No investment in physical infrastructure, that means you are able to spawn up this particular infrastructure at any point of time. You deploy the code, you deploy the service, you complete the testing, and then destroy it. So you are not going to keep it forever. The fourth thing is that the build quality improvement. So when we run this POC, we find out that basically the build quality improvement is as much as 80% better compared to the traditional approaches. So traditional approaches means, what I mean to say, that the bringing up the VM, deploy your code manually over there, all these things we are just eliminating with this DevOps model. Now, factors to be considered for the NSO-LSA pipeline design. The first thing what we consider, that dynamically accept input for creating the RFS nodes from the Jenkins input. So what does it mean? Today I have a fixed infrastructure, for example, to build up, where I have one CFS node, two RFS node. Tomorrow I might be interested to build up one more set of infrastructure where I will be having one CFS and three RFS nodes, or more than two RFS nodes. So how we can do that? Environment setup dynamically from the pipeline. So Jenkins we have used to build up such infrastructure. Then creation of the RFS nodes on the fly without saving any configuration. So in this process, basically you are not hard coding your configuration. You are just calling the configuration from your Jenkins pipeline and you are building up the RFS nodes. What I am going to achieve out of this? We are optimize the pipeline by creating all RFS nodes in parallel from Jenkins. So if you would like to create X number of RFS nodes, you are not going to invest any extra time on that. Then get hooked up your NSO testing, pull the logs out of the container before pipeline gets closed, and you have your test results in hand. Even though you are not keeping your test environment alive after you complete the testing. Now, being said that, here is the input how we have created the Jenkins pipeline. From Jenkins pipeline, how we create the LSA dynamically. So as you see in the screen, while creating the RFS node structure, we have created one option from Jenkins pipeline, how many RFS nodes dynamically a user would like to create before running the pipeline. So you can select either the option 2 or 3. One is just for the regular setup, which we are not considering at this point of time. We have designed time being the pipeline to accept maximum 3 RFS nodes, but this can be extended further as per the user requirement. Now, at a quick glance with the 3 RFS nodes. Just pay attention over here. While we are creating the pipeline, we are creating all these RFS nodes in a parallel process from the Jenkins pipeline. So total execution of the pipeline, including the execution of the sanity test on the NSO container, it takes around 34 minutes. So I'm not demanding, I'm not claiming that this 34 minutes time is very fixed timing. It can vary based on the test suite which you will be going to execute after creation of the total infrastructure. So that the total execution time might vary based on that. But what I would like to establish at this point of time, that if you have a fixed set of test cases and you are going to create an infrastructure which has got 3 nodes, you are taking 34 minutes. And in the next slide, you can see the same set of test cases I'm executing for an infrastructure of the 2 RFS nodes, where my total execution is 35 minutes. I consider that 1 minute could be a glitch between the Jenkins server to communicate sometimes with the host, but approximately what I would like to establish the fact that irrespective of as many number of RFS nodes or RFS or layer service architecture supportive RFS nodes you would like to create, the creation time is not impacting your number of creation of RFS nodes. If I create 3 RFS nodes, my infrastructure takes the same time to build up comparing to the 2 RFS nodes. So that is how we have designed the pipeline. What is the benefit out of it? So when we basically take this concept to a particular customer lab for the acceptance testing, first we applied it in our local lab. So our engineers so far, you can consider till sprint 6, they didn't have this architecture of NSO LSA pipeline implemented in the project. Sprint 7th onwards, we started applying this particular architecture, and we find out that the average number of defects which were going to be reported from the acceptance test till sprint 6, it was around 43, which came down significantly to the average number of approximately 19.25, which is a remarkable difference and remarkable achievement for our program. So what it is causing, because of the infrastructure readiness and frequent testing is possible using this particular DevOps environment, we were able to catch more defect at the development phase rather than waiting for actual customer network to deploy those services. So what it promises, what this particular infrastructure promises: lesser number of defects from customer side signifies the early detection of defects in the development lab. Defect average trend reduction from 43 to 19 signifies that the defect report rate got reduced almost 55%. Reduction of defect reported by customers, which signifies that quality improvement in the release delivery, and improvement in overall release quality improvement, which is basically more than 80%. So this 80% figure we calculated based on no critical defect reported from the acceptance test, reduction in defect density at the UAT phase, and test coverage during the UAT is more than expected. Whatever we achieved till sprint 6 and sprint 7 to 10, we see a significant difference over there. Conclusion. So basically what we would like to convey out of this proof of concept, the dynamic pipeline, we ensured that irrespective of test suite content remains same. So there is no additional time it takes to bring up the layer service architecture setup on the fly. So as a user or as a consumer, anyone can use this particular DevOps environment, spawn up the layer service architecture setup, and perform the testing, perform the NSO service package testing against it. The most easiest way to make your NSO code ready for customer deliverables is just a click away. Use the setup as and when needed. We do not need any dedicated infrastructure we basically use the engineering IT shared infrastructure where many other builds are being run already. At the same infrastructure, we just spawn up the LSA pipeline. User can expect to find more defects prior to shipment, that is the target, and more robust testing is possible. So instead of investing more time towards bringing up the infrastructure, we can propose to invest more time towards designing the test cases, writing a better code, and writing a better quality of the product. This particular pipeline is ready to integrate with any set of toolset. So when we say that any set of toolset, today in our local lab, we have used GitHub for the code repository, Jenkins, and our Cisco internal security framework for the security check-in for the code. But this can be integrated with any industry standard concept. Instead of GitHub, if someone is interested to use the Bitbucket, yes, that is possible. But basic flavor or basic architecture of the pipeline, whatever we have designed, that can give a benefit towards the quality improvement of the code. Now, being said that, I think I will quickly take you through a short presentation how basically it has been done for one of our customer premises. So this is a customer deliverable for one of our enterprise customers, where you can see that the pipeline has got around 60 branches. And these 60 branches, each of them are using the same pipeline for their testing. So the added advantage is that when a developer is basically developing the code, they do not need to wait for the shared environment. Basically, they are using the parallel execution of the pipeline, which can provide them a better infrastructure, a better way of testing. You do not have any interdependency for each of the feature branch. Second thing is that what I would like to highlight over here is that when we go ahead for the multi-branch testing across same product line with different feature or different service development, this pipeline is proven to be highly useful, where any of the user can test their code on the fly. They do not have to wait till the last moment. That means this particular DevOps environment proposes to have a better quality, better way of designing the code, better way of developing the code. So that's pretty much from my side today, where I wanted to share my thoughts about how the NSO-LSA pipeline can be useful for the end users to use in actual DevOps environment. Any questions?
Thank you very much for your presentation, Sudipta. Please, everyone, feel free to ask questions in the Q&A session here in the events session or in the app. And I can also see that the poll is now open. So please vote in the poll. I don't have any questions yet, but let's give it a few minutes.
Sure, Dennis.
Well, since there are no questions, I think we're ready to close this session. Again, thank you very much, Sudipta, for the very interesting presentation.
Thank you, Dennis, for supporting me. Thanks a lot.